MX3.VIP. Here we are, Money, Motivation, and Mike, Jason. Before I get into my main topic for the day, and what it is a certified graded copy from PSA of the 2001 Daytona 500 won by Michael Waltrip, but most importantly, the last race that Dale Earnhardt ever drove. And his life coming to an end on turn 4 of the last lap, which is 200 laps.
Yeah.
200 laps, 2.5 mile race, 2.5 mile track, 500 miles. He was less than a mile away from finishing off another Daytona 500. He was in third place. And here is a ticket. Graded an 8, by the way. And believe it or not, Jason, I went to eBay to see this ticket's going for around $1,000 because the death of a man.
Yeah.
And it's worth mentioning to me, and as we talked about a month or so ago about some of the stuff that goes on at Daytona, and it being Daytona month at Daytona Beach and Daytona International Speedway, and of course the 25th anniversary of the Dale Earnhardt death in turn 4, which was February the 18th, 2001. Here's something else that's kind of interesting, and I bet it's not much more right now. At that race, it was $115 to get into that race. $108.49 to get in, $6.51 state sales tax.
That's a pretty cheap ticket.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's a whole lot more now. I hadn't been a race in a long time.
Well, and honestly, that was about the peak of it.
That's it. Coming out of the 90s for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, who's to say that was the price at the gate?
Yeah,
but who's to say it wasn't being resold for $500 or $600?
I'm sure it was being resold, but
yeah,
that's the price that the track was charging.
Right.
And we've paid more than that to go down to Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh, no doubt. I've never paid
20 years ago.
Yeah, I never paid anywhere close to that.
So, nevertheless, there you have it. And today, habits destroying your mental clarity. And as I read through the first several, I go, oh my gosh, I'm guilty of all this, of your mental clarity. Number 1, constant notification checking. Every ping that keeps your nervous system alert gets into your clarity. Your brain doesn't distinguish the slack, and it continues to threaten your clarity. It fires up everything, everywhere. Every time that little ping comes on, that the notification is there. 2, passive content binging. Scrolling feels like rest, but it's not. Trains your brain to crave more information and makes the depth feel boring. Interesting. Here we go. Tab hoarding. Man, you could pull up to some people's computers. They've got 8,000. They got so many tabs, you don't even know where you can go find some of the tabs that they've put up. It takes them 10 minutes to find the tab that they want, that they saved, so they could go back to it instead of just going and Googling it back up. Yes, tab hoarding. Each open tab equals an unfinished loop in your brain. Working memory isn't ignited with tabs because the tab takes up space and the space is unfinished in your brain because you have an open tab. You believe that, Jason?
If you saw my computer right now, the tabs would be astronomical.
Pretty
But
strong.
I do it for organizational things. Like I want to read that, but I'm working on this. So I will right click, open in a new tab so it pops up there, and I will get back to it so I can read it later. But I probably have like 4 windows with like 10 to 15 tabs open for me to get back to and finally go through it all.
Well, James Appleton is a body transformation coach. And he says 80% of us have tabs open for a task that we are not going back to in a very quickly fashion.
I believe it. I do it to make sure I do, but
I believe this one coming up is a mental clarity destroyer of a lot of things, and that is caffeine overuse.
Speaking to the choir.
Caffeine mass fatigue. It doesn't repair it. You're borrowing energy you'll repay with interest later by doing caffeine.
I'm a 2-cup of coffee person in the morning, followed by Red Bull about lunch.
All right. Well, I do not drink coffee, but I drink my share of tea, which some people call brown water because I don't put sugar in it, and the energy drinks. Yes. Now, I drink the energy drinks that doesn't have a whole lot of sugar in it, but it has a whole lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
And, well, the Starbucks Frappuccino Light, you look at it, only has 100 calories, but it has a whole lot of caffeine. Nevertheless, caffeine is the big one. Calendar cramming is number 5. Back-to-back meetings leave no time to process what was discussed. Your brain needs space between inputs to consolidate the information. Now, if you looked at my calendar, I'm back to back to back all day long. So I take notes during those meetings, and I go back and process it whenever I get to that particular tax return. I've got my notes set up. So I won't call it calendar cramming. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Only have 4 appointments a day? Work an hour, take off an hour, work an hour, take off an hour? I mean, I'm not really for sure what he's wanting to do here, because
it's applicable in some cases, not all. That kind of thing.
This is another one. This is number 6 that I'm real bad about, but this is when I do my emails, etc. Late night scrolling. Blue light delays your stress relief. Did you know that?
I did. I've heard it many times.
That means poor sleep, which means worse decisions tomorrow.
What if you, well, I guess mine is typically I'm doing something work-wise. I might settle down the last hour or so and watch something else on YouTube or whatever just to start calming down and get to bed. But
well, I'm going to tell you this. I must be making some bad decisions from January through May, because it is the tough time of the year for me when the tax return business, and I don't get a whole lot of sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of the fact that we make very few errors in our office. But poor sleep means worse decisions tomorrow, and blue light delays that stress relief, and that's where the late night scrolling is coming from. But that is when I do most of my email work, is late at night before I go to bed and early in the morning when I get up, because when I get rolling, I don't have time to do it. And from what I last checked, those clients want those emails responded to. Task switching. Task switching. Every time you switch task, your brain has to reload content. All right? And research shows it drops your IQ by 10 points when you switch task. And your errors increase by 50%. So task switching. Task switching. You're doing this task, but you stop and go start doing this task. And then you come back to the same task. And then you get it about 90% through, but then you go to the third task. And all these tasks have a lot of things going on in your brain, which drops your productivity and increases errors by 50%. I would not have thought it would have been that much. Because when you don't complete that task, you have to come back and remember where you were. And half the time you don't start where you stopped. Interesting stuff, huh?
for sure.
Living in the inbox. I'm sure the inbox is our email. When your day is dictated by other people's priorities, you're always reacting, which is a bad thing.
The inbox is my arch nemesis.
You're not much on the inbox either?
Too many distractions.
Well, those of you who know me from listening to this show and viewing this show for the last going on 4 years knows I do email because it's required, not because I want to.
Right.
I do email because it's required. I don't recommend it. I still like them to walk into my office and sit down at my desk. It has made lots of things more convenient. I don't want to say it's made it better. And there's a difference in convenience and better.
Yeah.
Taking an accounting class online is convenient. It is for sure not better. I have no idea to this day how a person can take Principles of Accounting 101 without being in a classroom with a chalkboard.
There's got to be there's some areas there that you're going to have questions that course is not going to fill in.
But even if you are, the dog barks, the child walks in, you cut it off for a minute because you have another task, as we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
You're not going in there. I mean, when I'm going for my accounting degree, Principles of Accounting was every day. You didn't take it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
You took it every day on the green chalkboard with the white chalk, doing debits and credits. And I have no idea how they teach it online. And the student take in the information. Impossible. They asked me to teach at the local college, which they have not. I would not teach online.
Yeah.
You got to come in my classroom and you got to sit down and you got to pay attention. And I'm going to show you how to get cash out of your account and go pay for the auto expense and how that debit and that credit works. It's impossible, Jason. Doing this, being in this business for going on 36 years. Ain't no way, bro. Not happening. Not happening in this lifetime. Anyway, nevertheless, how I got off on that, I apologize. Of course, on this show, as most people know, we have a lot of trees and a lot of branches on those trees.
Yep.
And we have before sat down and had episodes and not finished the topic. But that's why you keep coming back for more.
Or sometimes there's a part 2.
Sometimes there's a part 2.
To get back to it.
Hey, now, a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, we did those Dallas Cowboy weekly shows on the different decades.
Yep. Different eras.
We had 4 parts.
That's right.
Those parts still get high watch ratings.
Yeah.
Incredible. I think it's because people just like to rag on Jerry Jones.
Definitely got a part of it. Definitely a percentage of them come back for that.
So this has been the habits of destroying your mental clarity.
I think it's mostly Cowboy fans trying to relive the glory days.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe Jerry's trying to help you get your mental clarity back by reminiscing about the glory days. Bad deal. Bad deal. And believe it or not, I have no faith in going forward to next year. I believe you know this, and I believe there's a whole lot of other Cowboys fans that believe it as well. But nevertheless, keep drinking the blue Kool-Aid. It's for sale at all local grocery stores.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Info at mx3.vip. That's how you can contact me. You can also find our content at mx3.vip. You can also find us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@mx3podcast. Please go down. Comments. Where are we at right now with our subscribers, Jason?
Just shy of 291.
Just shy of 291, and we need to be at 300,000 by the end of February.
Ooh. We need some folks to get in there and hit that like button and subscribe.
Yeah, but you're right. But remember, we started the year at 250.
Yeah.
We got 41,000, almost 42,000 viewers.
Yeah.
It took us 2 years to get 100,000. We've gotten 41,000 in 50 days. So it's good times for the Wright brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Always is. So until next time, continue to live your life the right way.